Yes.
So every session is recorded, and the recording also will be sent to you after the session. So in today's session, right, we will cover introduction to SAP. See, in today's session, we will cover the introduction to SAP FICO. Means first we cover what is the concept of ERP. After that, we cover what exactly is the SAP. Then what is SAP FICO. And what are the employment opportunities you get if you learn SAP FICO. So all these things we will discuss in today's session. So before starting the session, let me introduce myself. See, my name is Lakshmana Swamy. I'm a chartered accountant and a cost accountant. And I have complete total years of experience is 35 years. So my total career experience is 35 years. So out of which 18 years, right, in SAP. Right? Then the remaining 17 years, before 18 years, right, 17 years I worked on functional side. So till now I have completed nearly some 400 plus batches I have completed. So I have been in the training experience also with. So as soon as I entered into SAP, I started providing the training to the in SAP FICO. Right? So this is the thing regarding. So in today's session, right, we cover the introduction to SAP FICO. See, SAP. SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. So this is the amplification for the word SAP. This SAP is called an ERP package or ERP software. ERP means Enterprise Resources Plan. ERP means Enterprise Resources Plan. Enterprise means any business organization is called enterprise. Then every business organization, while doing the business, they use some resources like men, materials, machines, and money. So these are called natural resources. And this availability of these resources are very much limited for any business organization. Now, the main objective of any business organization, the main objective of any business organization is to maximize the profits. It is not just earning the profits, earning maximum profits. For this purpose, every business organization, we have only two alternatives. One is in order to increase the profits, we have to increase the sales. Again, to increase the sales, we have to increase the production. Again, to increase the production, we have to increase the utilization of these four resources, but they are not plentifully available for any business organization. So the first alternative is not compatible for the organizational objective, maximization of the profits. Then what is the second alternative? You take any company, whether large or small, they will have some amount of resources. So whatever the amount of resources we are having, we have to use them in the most effective and efficient manner. So in this particular context, the concept of planning will come into existence. So enterprise resources planning means planning for the effective utilization of available resources of the enterprise to maximize the profits. Simply saying, that is the ERP. Again, I'm repeating. Enterprise resources planning means planning for the effective utilization of available resources of the enterprise to maximize the profits. So the ERP covers all the techniques and the concepts for the best utilization of the resources of the enterprise to maximize the profits. Then ERP is based on the integrated management of all the departments in the organization. It's very important. See, ERP is based on the integrated management of all the departments in the enterprise. So what is this integration among the departments? How this integration is achieved? This we are going to discuss in the coming few minutes. Now, we have to understand how the concept of ERP helps the business enterprises maximize the profits. Before that, we should understand what are the problems faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. That's very, very important. Before understanding how the concept of ERP helps the business enterprises, we should also first understand what are the problems faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. Say, for example, this is the organization, right? So in every organization, we have a number of departments like finance and accounts department, marketing department, sales department, production planning and control department, production department, HR. Then we also have the warehouse, right? Purchase, etc. etc. So every department has to work towards the achievement of organizational objective, maximizes the profits. So in this process, every department will have their own individual goals and objectives. So the departmental objectives should be synchronized with the organizational objective, that is maximizes the profits. So in this process, what happens? If you take the finance and accounts department, its main objective is to generate the maximum rate of return. Investment. Here, investment means shareholders' investment. So the finance department always wants to maximize the profits. For that purpose, right, it wants to reduce the expenditure wherever it is possible. By reducing the expenditure, it can contribute to the maximization of the profits, right? Then, if you take the marketing department, its main objective is to create the market for the organization's products so that the demand is created for the marketing department always wants to create the market for the organizational product so that demand is increased, sales are increased, and profits are increased. So in order to create the demand for the organization's products, this marketing department always wants to conduct some advertising activities or some sales promotion activities, which involves spending of funds. Just observe carefully. The finance department and marketing department, both the departments are trying to maximize the profits, but the way in which they are trying is different. The finance department is trying to maximize the profits by reducing expenditure. At the same time, the marketing department is also trying to maximize the profits, but by incurring some additional expenditure in the form of advertisement activities or sales promotion activities and so on. Means both the departments are pulling the organization in the opposite direction. On one hand, the finance department wants to reduce the expenditure. On the other hand, the marketing department wants to incur some additional expenditure. So it leads to friction or conflict between finance department and marketing department. Let us take one more example. You take production planning and control department. This production planning department wants to have always minimum stock of the materials to minimize the carrying cost. See, this production planning and control department wants to have always minimum stock of the materials to minimize the carrying cost. So what is the carrying cost? Here, if you have to maintain the stock of the materials, here materials include raw materials, work in progress, finished goods, packing materials, stores and spares. So in order to minimize the carrying cost, this production planning and control department wants to have, right, minimum stock of the materials. Why? If you have to maintain the inventories, you have to lock up some working capital. And we have to pay interest to the bank on the working capital. So interest is one aspect of the carrying cost. Interest on working capital is one aspect of the carrying cost. Then we have to pay for the wages and salaries of the people, right, working in the warehouse. Then we have to pay for the rent of the warehouse. So all these expenses coming together, right, is called carrying cost. So in order to minimize the carrying cost, this production planning department wants to have minimum stock of these materials. But the production department, at the same time, they want to have optimum stock of the materials so that their production function is not disturbed due to want of materials. So again, there exists the conflict between production department, and the planning department. Right? Like that, among the departments in the real-time enterprises, right, there exist number of conflicts among the departments. So in order to see that the organization runs so smoothly, the top management has to spend a lot of its time on bringing the coordination among these departments. Because of this, the top management cannot have the sufficient time to concentrate on the performance analysis and the strategic decision-making process. Please remember that always the top management has to do the performance analysis and the strategic decision-making process. These are the two main important functions of the top management. But because they have to spend its time on bringing the coordination among the departments in this situation, they don't have the sufficient time to concentrate on the performance analysis. That is the biggest problem faced by the companies in the organization. Now let us take one more example. Here, in order to increase the profitability of the company, every department has to perform their daily functions with much effectiveness. For that purpose, every department requires some information from the other departments. That means every department is depending upon other departments for the information purpose. Say, for example, you take production planning and control department. You take production planning and control department. Its main function is to prepare the production schedule. So what is the production schedule? Just to chalking out the plan, when to start the production, in how much quantity the product has to be produced, by which date the production has to be completed. Simply saying, right, that is called production schedule. In order to prepare the production schedule, it requires some information from the sales department. That is the date of delivery required by the customer. So based on the date of delivery required by the customer only, right, we have to prepare the production schedule. So the production planning department is depending on sales department for the information purpose to perform its daily function itself. Now you take purchase department. It has to purchase all the materials which are required from the production department in the production department from time to time. So the purchase department is depending upon the production department for the information of raw materials required to be purchased. Now you take accounts department. It has to account for all the expenses and revenues which are taking place in every department every day. That means the accounts department is depending upon all other departments for the information purpose. So in order to perform their functions effectively, we have to ensure that there is the uninterrupted and seamless flow of information among all these departments. But it's not available in the real-time organizations in the non-ERP environment. Here, every department is computerized. That's okay. But that computerization is limited to the boundaries of that particular department. Different departments, they use different softwares manufactured by different companies. For example, finance department is using one software manufactured by X company. Marketing is using one software manufactured by Y company. Sales is using one software manufactured by B company, right? Production is using one software manufactured by C company and so on. As a result, we cannot integrate, means we cannot connect the software of one department with the software of other departments. So there is no the free flow of information. As a result, every department has to wait for some time for getting the information from the other departments. This leads to time wastage. It leads to time wastage, right? So if you waste the time, what happens? The length of the production cycle is increased. So what is the production cycle? The time taken from the point of procurement of materials till you realize them into finished goods, till you realize them into cash resources by sale of finished goods. Again, I'm repeating. Production cycle means the time taken from the point of procurement of materials till you realize them into cash resources by sale of the finished goods. This is called production cycle. So the working capital requirements always depends upon the length of the production cycle. If the length of the production cycle is more, we have to use the more working capital. If you use the more working capital, we have to pay more interest to the bank. If you pay more interest to the bank, right, it is the burden on the profits of the company. So in that case, we cannot maximize the profits. So this is another problem faced by the companies in the non-ERP environment. Let us take one more example. Here, the efficiency or the effectiveness of any organization depends upon the quality of the decisions taken by middle level management and top level management. So in order to take the effective decisions, these people always require the right information in right time. Say, for example, we have the general manager finance. General manager finance. So for a particular decision-making purpose, the general manager finance wants to know what is the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today. In that case, the purchase department will give one figure and the finance and accounts department will give another figure, because your purchase department is in Hyderabad and finance and accounts department is in Chennai. So every invoice received by the purchase department will not be sent immediately to the accounts department in Chennai. The purchase department will bundle together some invoices, and these invoices will be sent to accounts department in Chennai once in 2 days, once in 3 days, based upon their convenience and this thing, right? That's why there is the difference of information given by purchase department and finance and accounts department regarding the total amount of purchase that have been made as on today. That means the general manager finance is not provided with right information. In that case, he may not be able to take effective decisions. So the profits of the enterprise may not be maximized or optimized. Finally, let us take one more example. Today, the purchase department has purchased some materials from a supplier. So it has received the invoice along with the materials. That purchase invoice, the purchase invoice is entered in the purchase department once in the terms of quantities. The department is always concerned with the quantities, right? Again, that same invoice is again sent to the accounts department, wherein it is recorded in terms of financial values. That means we have to post accounting entries in the accounts department. So here, one purchase invoice is posted 2 times in 2 departments. Once in the purchase department in terms of quantities, again in the accounts department in terms of values. So this is called duplication of work. We are paying the salaries to the people in the purchase department and the people in the accounts department, but both the people are performing the same work, recording a purchase invoice. This is called duplication of work. So because of the duplication of work, we are wasting our money resources. So if you waste your money resources, how can we maximize the profits? Absolutely no. So like that, there are many problems in the non-ERP environment. So in this particular context, the concept of ERP has been developed. Actually, the ERP is the result of information technology developments, right? So in the case of ERP, right, always we should maintain the central database. Central database or common database. Here I told you, the ERP is based on the integrated management of all the departments in the organization. That integrated management of departments is achieved through common database or central database. This common database is given access to every department in the organization, subject to some restrictions regarding the data access. Why we have to maintain the restrictions? Because here we have to ensure that all the information is available to every department to the extent it is required. At the same time, we have to ensure the security of the data of the other departments, which is not at all required. That's why we have to maintain the restrictions regarding the data access. That's a technical aspect. Okay. We are maintaining common database that is given access to every department organization. Now, how the previously discussed disadvantages are going to be eliminated? For example, you take production planning and control department. It requires the date of delivery required by the customer, which is available in the sales department. So how that is readily made available? Whenever the salesperson accepts the order of a customer, he prepares one document which is called sales order. Sales order, right? So the sales order contains information like name of the customer, his address, the product particulars for which he is giving the order, right? then the price, quantity, quality parameters, and also the date of delivery required by him. That is contained in the sales order, right? Then the salesperson enters the sales order into common database. Then the person responsible for preparing the production schedule will be given access to the sales order. So this person will just log on into common database. He will identify the sales order, right? From the sales order, he can find out the date of delivery required, and accordingly, right, he will prepare the production schedule. Wherever may be your production planning department and wherever may be your sales department, information required is readily made available. Now, let us see how the information required by purchase department is readily made available. Whenever there is a requirement for any material in the production department, the production supervisor or the production clerk will prepare one document, material requisition, MR. So the material requisition contains the data like material description, means which material they require, how much quantity they require. Then that is entered into common database by the production supervisor. Now here we have the warehouse department now. So this warehouse clerk, he will just log on into common database. He will identify the material requisition. From the material requisition, he will identify, right, the details of the materials required. And accordingly, he will issue the material to production. This is the case when the material is available in the warehouse. Suppose if the material is not available in the warehouse, then the warehouse clerk will prepare one more document, which is called purchase requisition, PR, right? So purchase requisition. So this purchase requisition again contains the details of materials required and the quantity required. So that is entered into common database by the warehouse clerk. Then the purchase clerk will be given access to that purchase requisition. He will just log into common database. He will identify the purchase requisition. From the purchase requisition, he will find out the details of the materials required, and accordingly, right, the purchase clerk will start the procurement activities. That's how the information required by every department is readily made available. As a result, the time wastage is eliminated. So the length of the production cycle is reduced. That means the volume of the working capital you require for the business purpose is also reduced. To that extent, right, the interest burden on the profits is also reduced. And to that extent, again, the profits are maximized. That's how, right, the readily provision of information helps the business organization to maximize the profits. That readily availability of information is made possible by ERP or central database. Now let us see how the duplication of work is eliminated. Whenever the purchase department receives the purchase invoice, that is entered by the purchase clerk in the common database. Then automatically the ERP system posts the accounting entries in the accounts department. So there is no need to send the purchase invoice again to the accounts department. So this process, whenever the purchase invoice is entered by the purchase clerk into common database, the accounting entries are automatically posted in the accounts department. This process I'm going to show you practically in the training classes under the P2P process, procurement to payment process. So there is no need to send the purchase invoice again in the accounts department. So that's how duplication of work is eliminated. As a result, we can use the available human resources in the most effective manner. To that extent, we can maximize the profits. Now let us see how the information required by the general manager finance is readily made available. He wants to know what is the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today. So in that case, he need not ask any person in the organization. He can just log in into common database. He can find out the total amount of purchases that have been made as on today. Because with every purchase invoice posted or with every purchase invoice entered into common database, the ERP system will update all the relevant data like total amount of purchases, the inventory balance of respect to raw materials, and the account balance of respect to vendors. So all the related information is instantly updated in the common database by the ERP system. So as a result, the general manager finance by just logging it to common database, if we can find out the total amount of purchases that have been made as of today. That means he is provided with right information in right time also. So he will be able to take effective decisions as far as possible. To that effect, right, the profits of the enterprise will be maximized. That's how the concept of ERP helps the business organizations to maximize the profits. In short, right, how the ERP helps. All this discussion is summarizing. All the data is available in the central database or common database. Then it eliminates data redundancy. Data duplication is eliminated. Already I have explained you how the data duplication is eliminated. Then data is updated and available in real time. One point of entry of data. One point entry of data means in the organization, it is enough to enter the data in one point of the organization, in one department of the organization. Then it will have the impact, right, on the other departments wherever necessary. That's what I told you. When the purchase invoice is entered in the purchase department, it is having the impact in the accounts department. That is the meaning and impact of one point entry of data. It's not necessary to enter the purchase invoice in purchase department and also accounts department. No, not necessary. It's enough to enter the purchase invoice in purchase department. It will post accounting entries automatically in the accounts department. That's the meaning of one point entry of data. Then best business practices in it. See, all the ERP products by different companies have been developed after carrying on a lot of research on the business practices of many industries. So whatever the business practices that were thought best by the ERP companies, they have incorporated these best business practices in their ERP products. So when you start using that ERP product, right, you can also implement those you can also implement those business practices in your organization, and in that way also you get the benefit. Then modular system. Modular system is component system. To manage the finance and accounts department, we have the separate software within the same ERP. To manage the purchase department, separate software is there. To manage the sales department, separate software is there. To manage the production department, separate software is there. That's called modular system. Then can implement only the required functions. Functions means departments of the organization. Functions of the organization, nothing but departments of the organization. Finance department is a function. HR is a function. Purchase is a function. Sales is a function. So to manage these functions, we have the departments. Finance department, HR department, sales department, purchase department, and so on. So it's not necessary that we should use the ERP in all the departments at a time. We can implement only in the required departments or in the required functions. Then others can easily be integrated later. Say, for example, this year, 2026, we have implemented ERP in the finance department, purchase department, and sales department. So after using this ERP in these three departments for 2 years, the management has been very much convinced with the advantages of this ERP. Then from 28 onwards, the management wants to implement this ERP in other functions like production and warehouse. That is quite possible. Then these two new modules can be integrated with all the already implemented modules. So others can easily be integrated later. Then managers can utilize their time in analysis and spend less time in the coordination effort. This is the very important advantages of any ERP. Managers can utilize their time in analysis and spend less time in the coordination effort. So these are the characteristics of any ERP, right? So SAP is such a ERP product. SAP is like such a ERP product. Along with SAP, we have the number of other ERP products available in the market, like Oracle, SAP, PeopleSoft, right, Rampo, etc., etc. There are a number of other ERP products also, right? Then why SAP only? Why we have to learn SAP? See, if you take Oracle, it is specialized in the management of your finance department or finance function. If you take BOM, it is specialized in the management of production department. If you take PeopleSoft, it is specialized in the management of HR department. But if you take SAP, it provides the effective solutions for the management of all the department organization, and the level of integration achieved with the help of SAP is very high when compared to other ERP products. Again, I'm repeating. SAP provides the effective solutions for the management of every department organization, and the level of integration achieved with the help of SAP is very high when compared to other ERP products. So because of these two reasons, SAP is the world #1 ERP product. As of now, right? This SAP is enjoying nearly, right, 48% of international market share. You can say 48 plus, right? This SAP company is nearly having 48% of international market share. And the remaining 52% is shared by all other ERP products together. So SAP alone is enjoying 48%. So that's why we have a lot of employment opportunities only in case of SAP. Right? Now, what is SAP? SAP stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. So what exactly is the meaning of this? In this, first you have to understand data processing. So what is data processing? In data processing, what is data? In the data processing, first you have to understand what is data. Data is the collection of facts and figures. For example, see, simply saying, data means it is the collection of facts and figures. So, for example, this is April 2026, right? Okay. In the March 2026, you have produced 1 lakh number of units. Total production in your organization is 1 lakh number of units. And we have the 100 workers. This is called data. That's it. As simple as that. Now, this production manager, he wants to analyze the performance of the worker in the previous month. This data in its original form will not be any clue to the manager. We have produced total 1 lakh units. We have 100 workers. So what? As such, are we able to arrive any conclusion? No. That's why we have to process the data. Processing means executing a set of operations on the data elements. Data processing means executing the set of operations on the data elements. So here the operations may be arithmetic operation, algebraic operation, or sometimes just to rearrangement of the data elements is also called processing. Okay, let us apply one arithmetic operation between these two data elements. I'm dividing total production by total number of workers. 1 lakh by 100. That comes to, right, 100,000 units per worker. This is called average production. In the technical terms, this is called productivity. Productivity means average production. So on an average, every worker has produced 1,000 units in the month of March. This is called actual productivity. And this is called information. Now, what is the information now? In the month of March, you produced, right, 1,000 units on an average per worker. Now, how this information is used to the production manager to analyze the performance for every performance indicators in the real-time organizations, right? We have standards. We have the targets. For example, in the month of March, right, the standard productivity is 1,300 units. 1,300 units means on an average, every worker has to produce 1,300 units, but actually how much they produced? 1,000 units. So we performed 30% below the targets. Now, what are the reasons for this underperformance? These reasons are analyzed by the management. So during the analysis, the management found one reason. In the manufacturing process, they have used the inferior quality of materials. They have used the materials of inferior quality. Because of this, there are frequent breakdowns in the manufacturing process. So in order to reset up the process, we lost some time. That's why the actual productivity, the actual production came down. If that is the reason, right, the management has to ask for explanation from the purchase department people or from the quality management department people. Okay, there is no any issue regarding the materials quality. They are good. They are up to standards. But another reason they found is some of the skilled workers have left your company in the month of March. And the management has been noticing the same trend since 3 months, January, February, March. So if the skilled workers leave the company, automatically the production will come down. So this is the reason the management has to reconsider their employee policies. Why the people are leaving my organization? How to retain them? Whether we have to increase the fringe benefits to the employees, or whether we have to improve the working conditions of the employees. Here, what I mean to say here is just one piece of information is giving how many number of avenues to the management to analyze its performance. That is made possible through information. And the information is the result of data processing. So, SAP stands for systems, means some hardware systems and management information systems, and applications, means softwares and products. So SAP stands for some hardware systems, some softwares, and some products which can be used by the organizations in their data processing needs to arrive the meaningful information necessary for them to analyze their performance and strategic decision-making process. SAP stands for some hardware systems, some softwares, and some other products which can be used by the organizations in their data processing needs, right, to arrive the meaningful information which is necessary for them to analyze the performance and also for strategic decision-making process. That is the meaning of SAP. Right? And this SAP software was developed by a company which is called SAP.ag. It is a German company, right? And it was established in 1972. Its headquarters are at Waldorf, Germany. So this is the brief history of SAP. Right? Till now, any questions? If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and we can talk to you. Otherwise, you proceed further. Okay, fine. Then, let us see the evaluation of the product SAP. How this product has evaluated till today's stage. In 1972, SAP has developed a product known as SAP R1 Suite. In 1980s, SAP has developed a product known as SAP R2 Suite. Then in 1990s, SAP has developed a product known as SAP R3 Suite. So this is the name of the product, what we are using now, right? So of course, some of you may be already working in SAP, right? In S4HANA also, right? We have this, but different version, right? Let us discuss that also. So currently we are using SAP R3 Suite. Now you know the meaning of SAP. Right? Suite means, right? The dictionary meaning of the suite is collection of some objects. Here, SAP R3 Suite means this product contains different softwares to manage your different departments of the organization. That is the meaning of the suite. Now R3. This is very, very important. It totally conveys the nature of the product. See here, R stands for real-time data processing. Real-time data processing means whenever you perform an operation of the data elements, the related database is instantly updated. Again, I'm repeating. Whenever you perform an operation of the data elements, the related database is instantly updated. Say, for example, right, when you draw money from the bank ATM, it is giving back your updated statement immediately, printed statement immediately, right? Because it's working on the principles of real-time data processing, the railway reservation systems, flight reservation systems, right? For that matter, all the facilities you are enjoying in your daily life is a result of real-time data processing concept only. That's why SAP also uses the same real-time data processing concept. That is why, see, when the purchase invoice entered with the purchase clerk in the common database, it is posting accounting entries automatically in the accounts department. That is the impact of real-time data processing. So SAP also uses the same real-time data processing concept. That's why SAP has incorporated the letter R in the name of its product. Then 3. 3 stands for 3-tier architecture. It refers to the levels of hardware setup you require to use the software. Here, every ERP we use the client-to-server technology. Not only SAP, every ERP, they use client-to-server technology. Means there are some servers, there are some clients. So what is difference between server and clients? See, basically, servers and clients are both physically hardware computer systems only. They are physical computer systems only. But the servers will have the large storage capacity and clients will have the small storage capacity. So in this 3-tier architecture, we have the 3 servers like database server layer, database server or database server layer, application server layer, client or presentation server layer. So database server layer means what? It is the computer system in which the database of the organization is kept. So what does the database contains here? The business transactions incurred and posted every day. So this database is managed on the principles of relational database management systems. And as a SAP professionals, we are not in any way concerned with the database management. There are separate professionals like database managers and database administrators, right? They will take care of this database management. And this database is managed on the principles of real-time data, RDBMS. RDBS means Relational Database Management Systems. Relational Database Management Systems. So there are a number of RDBMS tools available in the market. So based on the IT budget of the companies, they can go for any of the RDBMS. In most of the cases, as on now, right? Forget about the S4HANA. As on today, right? We are using, in most of the cases, we are using Oracle database. After that, we have the Microsoft, right? Then SQL Server, DB2, Informix. Like that, we have the number of RDBMS tools available in the market. Based on the budget of the company, they can go for any of the RDBMS tools. In most of the cases, just Oracle and SQL Server are used. Yeah. Samina, you are trying to talk something? Okay. So that is the thing regarding database server. Then we have the second layer, application server. Application server means, again, it is the computer system, right, in which the SAP software is hosted or stored. Here, the application server contains the programming code or the processing logic to process your business transactions. We have to have some number of application servers. If you have only one application server, right, the load on that particular server will be very huge because all the employees will use the same server, right? In that case, the load on that server will be very high. Then it takes a lot of processing time. Again, we are wasting our time. That's why, right, we have to have some optimum number of, multiple number of application servers. So how many servers we have to have is decided by the technical team of the IT department of the client. But please remember that we have to have some number of application servers. Then client. The third layer is client or presentation server. Right? Client means these are the computer systems which are used by the employees, right, to process the business transactions. For example, if you go to a bank, right, you will see a number of employees with the laptops or desktop with them, right? They are called client systems. through the client systems, right? They process our requirements and they process our transactions. So this is one layer. This is another layer. This is another layer. 3 layers. That's why this is called 3-tier architecture. Let us present it in more refined manner. See, all these are the computer systems which are used by the employees to process the business, to enter the business transactions, to generate the reports, to analyze the reports, and so on. All these client systems are connected to these application servers. And all these application servers are connected to database server. And the database server is managed on the principles of RDBMS systems. So that is the meaning of R3. Then coming to R2. R2 means 2-tier architecture. So in the case of 2-tier architecture, in the one hardware system, we host database and SAP application. SAP application means SAP software. In the same hardware system, we host database and the SAP application. Then this is one layer. And this is the second. For example, here we have the one hardware system, right? In this hardware system, we have installed Oracle database system and also SAP application. This is one layer. Then all of you are spread over different parts of the world. So you access this server to your laptops or desktops. So your laptops and desktops is one layer, client layer. So all your laptops together is one layer, client layer. And here in Hyderabad, right, the database and the SAP application are in one hardware system. That is second layer. That is called 2-tier architecture. The 2-tier architecture is used only in the training institutions, right? In the real-time organizations, always we use the 3-tier architecture. So R1 means single-tier architecture, right? Within the standalone system, we install client program, database program, and also SAP application. We are not at all using R1 nowadays. So that is the technical description of this SAP software. Now, the name of the product, what you are using, SAP R3, right? It's a very famous product. And majority of the revenue of the SAP company is derived from this product only. So in SAP R3 product, basically, we have the 2 types of modules. Functional modules, technical modules. On the functional side, right, we have FICO, financial accounting and control, FICO, materials management, ML, sales and distribution, SD, human resources management, HR, quality management, QM, plant maintenance, PM, project systems, PS, production planning and control, PPC, real estate management, REM, workflow, then financial supply chain management, FSCM, treasury and risk management. Like that, there are different modules on the functional side. And each module itself is a fully developed software. We don't write even a single line of programming in these modules. Each module is a fully developed software. Software means there should be a language in which all these softwares are developed. That language is ABAP. ABAP. ABAP is the own programming language of SAP company. ABAP stands for Advanced Business Application Programming Language. Advanced Business Application Programming Language. Then another technical module is BASIS. BASIS stands for Business Application Software Integrated Systems. For your understanding purpose, just understanding purpose, right? You can assume that BASIS is the own operating system of SAP. So these are the 2 technical modules, right? And these are the functional modules. Now, if you want to learn any technical module, right? For example, if you want to learn ABAP, we should have the programming knowledge, right? We should have the programming knowledge. Without programming knowledge, we cannot learn this, right? ABAP. But if you want to learn any of the functional module, right? You need not have any technical, you need not know any technical modules. You need not have any technical knowledge, or you need not have any programming knowledge. It is necessary only if you have the basic knowledge of respective academic subjects, and also, right, if you have the working knowledge of respective departments, that's more than enough. Please remember again, we never write a programming code again in any more functional module. So this financial accounting module is used to process the business transactions in the finance and accounts department. is used to process your business transactions in the purchase department. SD is used, sales and distribution, is used to process the business transactions in sales and distribution department and so on. So each module is used to manage your respective departments. Now, in the case of non-ERP, all the departments are using different softwares manufactured different companies. But in case of SAP, all the departments are using different softwares. Yes, that is true. But all these softwares are developed by same SAP company. The manufacturer is same. That's why we can integrate the software of one department with the software of other department. Can be integrated with the FICO. For the time being, SD also can be integrated. Any other module can be integrated with the FICO. That's how, that is the difference between ERP and non-ERP. In the case of ERP, right, all the departments use the different softwares, but all these softwares are manufactured by same ERP company. That is the difference. So here, if you want to learn, okay, so if you learn any technical module, you will get a job as technical consultant. Basically, more particularly, if you learn ABAP, you will get a job as ABAP consultant. If you learn BASIS, you will get a job as BASIS consultant. Then, if you learn any functional module, you will get a job as basically functional consultant, right? More particularly, if you learn FICO, you are FICO consultant. You will get a job as FICO consultant. If you learn MM consultant, SD consultant, HR consultant, PP consultant, and so on. So who is consultant? What is the job you do, right? As a FICO consultant. See, you take any ERP, right? Basically, there are two roles. End user role, then consultant role. Consultant role. Okay. So who are the end users? All the employees of the company using the SAP software are called end users. If all the employees of the company using the SAP software are called end users. So like accountants, right? Cashiers, purchase officers, purchase clerks, salespersons, right? Finance manager, right? AGM, Assistant General Manager Finance, even the managing director are called end users. Even the managing director of the company are called end users. Okay, now Tata Power Limited. Tata Power Limited. So this company is really using SAP, right? In the Tata Power Limited, they are using SAP. So all the employees of the Tata Power Limited are called end users. So our module is FICO, right? So in the finance department, right? Accountants we have, cashiers we have, manager finance we have, assistant general manager finance we have, right? Executive director finance we have. So all these employees are called end users. For example, I'm an accountant in the Tata Power Limited. Okay, so I am called end user. So as an accountant, what is my duty? Every day, I have to post accounting entries. I have to post accounting entries, right? Now, I have to generate the reports. Then I have to analyze the reports, right? Based on my analysis, I have to generate some more reports. Some other reports. Then these reports I have to submit to manager. So this is my job every day, right? So in order to perform this job, already some settings should have been done in the FICO software. These settings are done by consultant. So unless the consultant develops the settings in the FICO software, the employees of the finance and accounts department cannot use the SAP FICO software. So in our training classes, we are going to cover both the consultant training and also end user training. So the job of the FICO consultant is, this is called technically configuration customization. Developing the settings is technically called configuration customization. So the job of the FICO consultant is to develop the configuration settings and the customization settings in the FICO software. Right? So what is there in FICO now? FICO is the combination of two modules, and a very highly demanded module and also very highly paid module also. Right? So in FICO, we have the two subcomponents, FI and the CO. FI means financial accounting. CO means control. So the finance accounting is used to prepare the financial statements according to the legal provisions of the respective countries. And these are called legal financial statements. See, here, what are the financial statements? Number one, profit and loss account. Number two, balance sheet. Then, number three, funds flow statement. Number four, cash flow statement. So these four statements together is called financial statements. And these financial statements we have to prepare, we means the accounts department has to prepare according to the legal provisions of the respective countries Companies Act. Suppose if you take India, all the Indian companies have to prepare the financial statements according to the legal provisions of Indian Companies Act. So as a FI consultant, we have to develop the configuration settings in the FI software so that the accounts department can prepare these financial statements whenever they are required. Now the question here is, what is the level of accounting knowledge you have to learn FI software? I mean, what is the level of accounting knowledge you have to learn FI? Very basic understanding of accounting knowledge. Please remember, I'm telling you that you require only basic understanding of accounting knowledge. You need not be a master in accounts. As a knowledge-wise, I'm telling you, right? So what is the basic understanding of accounting? You have the three types of accounts in the accounting, right? Personal accounts. Number two, real accounts. Number three, nominal accounts. So for any account, we have only debit and credit. That's it. So what is to be debited and credited? According to personal accounts, real accounts, and nominal accounts, that itself is enough. That itself is enough. I'm not exaggerating. Please remember. If you know how to post accounting entries, that itself is enough. Even the financial statements are generated by the ERP system by just one click in the keyboard. I'm going to show you this practically. So some people are there. They will also learn FICO and also get the jobs in FICO. Non-accounting people, right? BTech, sometimes MS, MSc, right? BE, chemical engineers, etc., etc. So nowadays, right, the accounting background people also learning SAP FICO and they're also getting the jobs. For that, right, for the purpose of non-accounting people, I prepared some material on the accounting principles. I will send you that material. It will take only 2-3 days, right, to read that material and to gain the understanding of accounting and also financial terms, which is necessary to learn and understand FI easily. So you need not worry about it. Not only for non-accounting students, for all the trainees in the class, for all the students in the class, I will send that accounting material to all of you. So in the financial accounting, we have the general ledger accounting. This is one submodule in the financial. The accounts payable, the accounts receivables, asset accounting, and the treasury management. Actually, treasury management itself is a separate thing. But in the treasury management, we have a small topic, cash journal. So that cash journal is linked with the finance accounting general ledger. That's why I'm going to cover that cash journal also. So in every submodule, there are a number of other topics, right? It's not right time to discuss all those topics now. Already I sent you the content, right? So you can refer to the content. And that content we are going to cover. Then, once we complete FI, so after these 4 modules, I will show you how to prepare the financial statements. Just a minute. Yeah. So once we complete FI, we start controlling. So controlling, it is used to provide the information to the management for the performance analysis and decision-making process. So controlling is nothing but cost accounting. So what is the level of cost accounting knowledge you have to have? Here also, basic understanding of cost accounting. So what is the basic knowledge of cost accounting? You take the cost of any product, right? Broadly, it contains material cost, labor cost, then other expenses. Then the material cost again contains direct material cost, then indirect material cost. Then labor cost is again divided into direct labor cost, then indirect labor cost. Then other expenses again are divided into direct expenses, indirect expenses. So if you learn, if you understand what is direct material cost, indirect material cost, direct labor cost, indirect labor cost, direct expenses, and indirect expenses, that itself is enough. But most of us don't spend much time on cost accounting. Even from our academics side also, you don't spend, unless you are a chartered accountant and cost accountant, right? You don't spend much time on the cost accounting. So we might have forgotten that also, right? That's why before starting controlling, I will take 3-4 sessions on the academic cost accounting. Then I start SAP control. Then you will be able to understand the controlling module also very easily, because from the viewpoint of getting the jobs, controlling module plays very important role, right? So again, in controlling, we have the sub-modules like cost element accounting, cost center accounting, internal order accounting, profitability analysis, profit center accounting, and product costing. So these 6 sub-modules are going to cover. The entire 6 sub-modules we are going to cover in our training classes. Once controlling is over, right, we have the other topics like integration of financial accounting with metals management. In the beginning of the introduction class, I told you, when the purchase invoice is entered in the purchase department, it will post accounting entries automatically in the books of accounts department. For that purpose, we need to connect both MM module and FI module. That is technically called integration of financial accounting with the metals management. Then we also going to cover integration of financial accounting with the sales and distribution. And eventually, we also cover integration of PP, production planning, with the controlling. That is not mentioned here. Eventually, we also cover, right, as a part of our product costing. Then we also cover closing procedures. After preparation of financial statements, right, we have to carry on some specific activities in SAP software. They are called closing activities. So these closing activities we are going to cover. Then I will give you some tips on ABAP and basis. Here, every functional consultant, right, they have to interact with the real-time implementation projects. They have to interact with the ABAP consultants and basis consultants, more particularly ABAP consultants, right? So from that viewpoint, I'm going to give you small tips, right? What are tables? What is transportation? These things we also cover, right, under ABAP and basis things. Then here, in our training is carried out in 3 phases, right? First phase, configuration phase. I'm talking about training. First phase is configuration, right? Once the configuration is over, we take up the project classes. So in the project classes, I will train you what are the different phases in the different methods of implementation. We have the different methods of implementation, like SAP methodology, Agile methodology, Activate methodology, etc., etc. So in each methodology, what are the different phases in the implementation? What are the support projects? And what are the other types of projects? Then in each project, what are the documents you prepare? How to prepare them? Okay. Another 5 minutes, please bear with me. How to prepare? So they are covered under project classes. Then we have the interview preparation. Interview preparation. So in the interview preparation, I will send you the interview questions, right? I will help you how to prepare them. And if you have any doubts or questions, I will explain interview questions. I will help you how to prepare the resumes. So in this way, we cover our training in these 3 phases. Okay. Now, methodology of the training. Methodology of the training. So, explaining every concept of step-by-step configuration. I will show you now. I will explain the posting of transactions. I will explain how to prepare the reports, how to interpret the reports. Then in every session, at the end of every session, we have the questions and answers on the topics. Then training material provided. I will provide the printed material for step-by-step configuration. Then I will provide the step-by-step transaction processing material, step-by-step report generation. Here, this is the FI material. See, every concept, first I will explain with the help of the presentation. Every concept, first I will explain with the help of the presentation. For example, in FI, we create enterprise structure. So, we create enterprise structure. So, what is enterprise structure? First, I will explain. What is company? What is company code? What is business elements? First, I will explain with the help of this graphic presentation. Then, that explanation is documented in the notes. Company. Company represents the group. It contains up to 6 characters. It is alphanumeric. Company represents the group means Tata Group, Birla Group, Reliance Group. They are called companies in SAP. So at the company level, we can prepare the consolidated financial statements. And the definition of company is optional. A company can have any number of companies. Like that, first I will explain what is company. Then that explanation is given in the notes. Now we have to create this company in the software. So every class is a practical class and also theoretical class. So first I will explain the theoretical concepts. Then I will show you the practical concepts in the system. So every day we have to log on into SAP servers. How to log on, all these things we will discuss in the next class, tomorrow class. See, in order to create a company, we need to access one screen. For the screen, this is called path, this is called transaction code. These things also we'll discuss in the tomorrow's class. Now, path, SPRO. See, after SPRO, we have enterprise structure. This is called enterprise structure folder. Click on this. After enterprise structure, we have definition. This is definition folder. After definition, we have financial accounting. This is financial accounting folder. Click on this. After financial accounting, define company. Right? This is called define company. Click on this. Then after define company, we have click on new entries. This is called new entries. Click on this. So in order to create a company in the software, right, we need to provide some information in 4 or 5 characters, not the words, 4 or 5 characters in every field. And these fields are printed in your material. Company name, city, etc. Here also you have the same fields, right? Company name, city, country, language, etc. So against these fields, you have to write some 4 or 5 characters. So taking these as examples, right, you have to recreate the same things in your practice. Here, I will take you through the total accounting processes and total costing processes very logically. Then at the end of FI, I will show you the clear-cut set of financial statements. Then what is company code? I will explain first. Then that explanation is given in the notes. Again, we have to create the company code in the system. Like that, every class, first I will explain the theory. Then I will show you the practical parts. Right? So this is basic settings. Then we have the general ledger. Right? So after general ledger accounting, we have the accounts payable. We have the accounts payable. So once accounts payable is over, we have the accounts receivables. So once the account receivable is over, we have asset account. We have the asset account, right? So once asset accounting is over, we have the financial statement version. Financial statement version is nothing but financial account, financial statements. So this will be the end of FI, right? For this, we have the 224 pages of material. Then, once FI is completed, we start CA. This is the controlling material. This is only half of the controlling, right? So enterprise structure for controlling. Once the enterprise structure is over, right, we have the cost element accounting. Cost element accounting. After cost element accounting, we have cost center accounting. We have the cost center accounting. After cost center accounting, we have internal order accounting. Right? So after the internal order accounting, profit center accounting. Right? After profit center accounting, we have the profitability analysis, controlling profitability analysis, COPA. Now after COPA, right, it's 176 material, right? 176 pages of material up to COPA. Then we have the integration. So integration of FI with the metals management, right? So again, here also I'll explain some concepts from metals management. They are necessary for us to understand, right? Then once the is over, now we have the SD integration, right? Integration of FI with SD. Enterprise structure for sales and distribution, right? So once SD integration is over, right, we have the product costing. We start product costing because is also linked with the product costing. So without understanding integration, you cannot start product. So after integration and SD integration only, we start product costing. Product cost planning. Right? Product costing. So all these metals will be sent to you. So you have to take the printout of this material and you have to get them spiral bound and you have to keep them in every class. You have to keep them with you in every class. And server is also given access. And every session you have to do the practice. Right? So while doing the practice also, you may get some doubts. Right? So in every session, we have the doubt session. In every day, we have the doubt session also. And sometimes at the time of practicing also, you may get some doubts, right? In that case, we can discuss them in the next class. Otherwise, I will create one WhatsApp group, right? For every batch, I will create one WhatsApp, right? So you can post your questions in the WhatsApp group, doubts and questions in the WhatsApp group. Then I will clear. So this is how I carry on the training. So every day the time is right 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Indian time. Today only I have taken some 20 minutes extra, but every day it's exactly 1 hour only because I have to complete the introduction at a stage. That is the reason. Now, any questions? First, to raise your hands. I'll be coming one by one. Anjumol, what's your actual name? I don't know the person name in my list. Anjumol, what's your actual name? Hello. Okay, anyhow, any questions? First, you can raise your hands. I'll be coming one by one. Otherwise, you can directly unmute yourself and you can talk to me. Subbu, what's your actual name? Okay, any questions from anybody? So throughout the training, you can use the same link, right? Every day.
I Lakshmana, I have one doubt.
Manohar.
Yes, thanks for your explanation. And what is my question is, can you give what is the breakup of the contents or the topics? Because still you are not covering material ledger, right? Are you covering the material ledger?
No, material ledger is covered in controlling.
Controlling, but in the slide you have not mentioned. That's what I'm
It's not
asking.
mentioned here actually, right? Some topics say are not there in the material, right? I will send them separately.
Okay. The material ledger you will also cover, right?
Sorry?
What about other subcontents of the topics like product costing with the make to stock, make to order, product cost collectors,
Yeah.
and actual costing and COPA. Still, you have not been discussed anything on the margin analysis on the Fury apps and What is the version that you are going to use in
As for
the
only. As for
current course?
2023.
2023, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
And also,
one
yes,
more
yes.
thing, right? I cannot give you the hourly breakup, right? And also, we are not going to cover margin analysis. In the product
Okay.
costing, we cover product cost planning and product cost by order.
Product cost planning and a product cost by order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Product cost by period, we don't cover.
You mean to say that you will cover a MTO or MTS scenario, right? MTO and MTS both,
Yeah,
or
MTO
what?
one we cover.
MTS you are not covering.
No, MTS we don't cover.
Only MTO. MTO means that means to you are covering the sales order costing with
No,
cost object.
no.
What?
Product cost by order. Sales order costing also we don't cover. Product cost by order. How to find out the cost of a production order? How to calculate the work in progress? How the variants are calculated and all these things.
And also, what, the Fury apps also you are not covering, right? The Fury apps.
Which one?
Fury apps.
See, as a part of S4HANA, fee is also eventually has to be covered.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. See, in our training class, right? First, we take the classes on ECC, right? Then,
Okay.
once ECC is completed, I will take up S4HANA. Because without ECC knowledge, right, we cannot understand directly in S4HANA.
So
Suppose,
initially,
let
yes,
me
initially, okay, okay.
wait. Say, for example, we have some changes in S4HANA in the GL account master records, cost element
Okay.
records, vendor master records. So unless you understand what is GL account master records, cost element master records, vendor master records, and customer master records, you cannot understand them in S4HANA. That is why, right? First we cover training on ECC, right? Once the ECC is completed, I will take S4HANA. In S4HANA, again, I will show you what are the changes that have been there.
Okay. You will cover the changes in S4HANA, but ECC is a concept, basic concept, right? You mean to say.
Yes.
And regarding this project phases, right? You are going to take some sample data of non-SAP example, your
No,
own
no, no, no,
data
no, no.
to
We don't have that
upload,
infrastructure here. We cover the theoretical part of project implementations.
and not you are not uploading any LTMCs or what,
No,
right?
no, no, no. We don't cover.
You are
It
not
takes,
explaining.
it takes nearly, if I have to cover all these things, right? It takes a
Okay.
lot of time. That too, we don't have that much infrastructure in the training classes.
Okay, okay. That is only my question, and also the breakup of if you give able to give the breakup, na that is
It's not possible, right? Sometimes it may take 15 hours also extra based upon the discussions we have in the class.
okay.
I
It is
cannot give
around
the
80
hourly
hours, sir.
breakup.
80 hours, sir. Total entire sessions
80 hours.
all
hours.
80 hours. You are going to cover S4HANA and ECC, right? You mean to say
Now ECC 80 hours. Yes, for HANA around 20-25 hours.
total is 105 hours
100 hours you can
entire.
say. Yes, 100 hours you can say.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Right. So any questions, anybody? So every day, please use the same link, right? Every day timing is 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Indian. And I will send the recording of this session to everybody. You can listen to it again. And every recording will be sent to you, right? And you can download the recording and you can keep it in the hard disk. Okay? Okay, then see you tomorrow, same time. Good night, everybody.